Okay, don't say anything dirty.
What?
Don't say anything dirty.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
That we're on the air.
Oh, we're on the air now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that your favorite line to say?
Okay.
Okay, Leonard. Gosh, you're just such a nuisance.
Nuisance. I haven't been called a nuisance in at least a week and a half.
All right, so this is how we do it. We talk fantasy baseball, but we wait for our wonderful and glorious chat room people to be able to hear us.
And we are on the air. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's 8:59, so we're a minute early, okay? 1 minute early. Andy's sipping her coffee. Wants me to be a little bit more aggressive, okay?
Be a little nicer before the sound comes on. How about that?
Sound is on.
He refuses to talk to me until the sound comes on, and then he changes into like this human being.
Yeah, the sound is on. Okay, nice to see the chat room loading up, led by the captain, the chairman of the board, Eddie Heckman, James Caplion, Roto Lady, SM King Turd, Timothy, my hooker, is here. And a couple of guests, and so it's a little slow in loading up, okay? But
well, it's a holiday, Leonard.
It is. Oh, yeah, today's a great day. Today's Easter Sunday, and whatever you want, I hope happens on Easter Sunday, as I do on every day, but happy Easter to you.
Well, it's important to me, Leonard. Easter Sunday.
If it's important to you, it's important to everybody, so that's great.
So that's good.
All right, Eddie Heckman says the sound is good.
Hello to Teresa.
Yes, good morning. Leonard Donaldson has just joined us.
Hello to Leonard. James K.
Leonard. So I got to ask you a question. All right, got to ask you a question, Andy.
Yes.
I brought this up earlier in the week, but I'll ask you directly. Many people in fantasy baseball say that they're not making moves right away. They're going to, look, the first game, the second game, the first week, they're going to wait until their players sink in. They're going to wait to see what happens. Are you one of those who take that position, or do you believe, like I do, I'll make a trade during the course of the draft? I'm not waiting. As soon as I see something, I wind up doing it.
No, I do not make trades right after the drafts because I feel like that just makes it's so obvious that you didn't do good drafting. Not just that, but I do come out of drafts feeling like I built a very well-rounded team, and then you go from there. But when people start offering trade offers and everybody's all gung-ho to trade and stuff, and it's like, why didn't you just draft the guy? I mean, you put together a well-rounded team. You come out of the draft thinking that...
Because sometimes you don't get to draft them. Sometimes you miss them.
There's no excuse in an auction.
No, well, yeah, there is. You run out of money. But the point is that, look, there are times where everybody, including me, although maybe once or twice that I come out of a draft not liking my team. That's about it.
Okay, so as far as making moves, depends on the year, but this year I'm on top of it. I will drop guys like Carlos Santana or Lucas Urseg or some of these guys that are sitting on my bench if I have an injury, such as Royce Lewis. I have TJ Friedel. I've got both the Lows that are both injured.
I got Big Al in the prowl. Good morning.
Al, good morning to Big Al. Rotorius is here. Droppable players are such as Carlos Santana is the first one because that's the guy that I'm pretty much getting rid of on any team right now. But, Carlos Santana, 80 RBIs last year. I don't think it was a horrible draft pick, but he's expendable.
Yep.
And so when you see guys like we're going to talk about today, a few guys that you might want to be interested in picking up, and if you have an injury or as far as like one of my leagues a couple of my leagues I'm in last place, and I look at my team and I see that all my starters are healthy, and what are you going to do? I'm not going to drop a guy that I thought would be good to pick up some guy that I looked over, unless it's somebody that just got a job. Like Willie Castro just got a job. He stole 35 bases last year or something. And he's not great, okay? And he's on the waiver in a lot of leagues because he didn't have a starting job to start the season, but now he does, okay? And he doesn't just qualify at third base. He qualifies in the outfield. He also can play the other positions if he's needed, but now he has a job. So look, I mean, if your team needs it, but I'm not dropping guys, okay? I'm not dropping a guy for going 160 in the first couple days, all right?
Pretorius wants to know, is Kenta Maeda droppable? And I don't think he's the kind of player that you drop. All right? He could turn on. He's going to be very streaky.
He's mediocre.
He's a mediocre pitcher. Now, is he droppable? Look.
Let me take a look at him.
It depends. It doesn't matter.
Forget about what he does.
It depends on who you can pick up when you drop them.
Yeah, so Detroit, what do you think about Detroit so far?
Oh, they got a brand new ball club.
Yes,
Detroit's
they do.
got a brand new team. We'll talk about that later. So many people have asked me, who is the closer on the Tigers? That's the question. Who is the closer on the Tigers? You got any guesses?
Yes, I do.
Who?
It's Jason Foley right now, and Alex Lang too could get some. Don't go crazy on these two. I mean, if you're in a situation where you need a closer, there's a couple other guys that you might want to pick up, including Ginkel, right?
Yeah, that's right, including Ginkel.
And there's a couple other ones that we're going to talk about today. Now, Jason Foley and Alex Lang are both going to get save chances, perhaps.
I think Foley's the guy. If I had to pick up one or the other, it would be Foley, who wound up getting the save the other day. So I'll go with Foley.
Well,
SM King Turd says Foley for sure.
Well, Foley is the one that's getting the saves, but going into the season, it was Lang that was supposed to get the saves. And I'll say this: if you have Lang, you better pick up Foley. Otherwise,
that's right.
I do not think that Foley is that great.
Right.
He's 28 years old, right? He hasn't been a closer, so...
Very hard thrower. Throws the ball hard. Speaking of throwing the ball, Craig Counsell said Justin Steele had an MRI in his hamstring, but it revealed they didn't expect it to be anything, but it was a grade 1 strain.
Is that the worst?
It's pretty bad. What we try to do here on this show...
Is that the worst kind of strain?
I don't know.
Jeez Louise,
the worst kind of strain is when it happens to you, all right? Otherwise, every other strain is insignificant.
Right.
But the
it's true.
council expects Steele to be out for the month of April. They're calling up Ben Brown to replace Steele, who was placed on the injured list. Brown came over from Philadelphia in a midseason trade a couple of years ago, had a great spring, so he's a solid prospect, but that's the story there.
He's okay. If you follow me on X, you know what's going on. Ben Brown, 24 years old. Lots of Ks from this guy. 130K in 92 and 2/3 innings last year, but 4.27 ERA and a 1.40 WHIP between AA and AAA last year. And an interesting part about Ben Brown is that his ERA at AA was 0.45 and his ERA at AAA was 5.33. He had a good spring, 14 innings, 12 strikeouts, 10 hits, 5 walks, and that's how he got the call up because of an impressive spring. Once again, he's only 24. And he does strike out a lot of batters, but it's coming with a lot of whip, too.
Shohei Ohtani, I got to tell you.
Wait.
What?
Eddie wants to know why Kikuchi lost yesterday.
Why?
Yes. He wants to know from you, because you're the Kikuchi handler.
Let's put it this way. Kikuchi is not going to win every game, okay? He's not going to go 25-0, I will tell you.
Good morning to Boston Paul. Good morning to guests.
All the more reason why you should play him in his next start.
Good morning to White Sox Al.
Leonard Donaldson is here. Laura is here. Good morning to you all. Well, what about
Laura's
Ohtani?
not here. She's in Louisiana.
She was in the chat room.
Oh, she was?
Yep, that's right.
Is Laura here?
She was in the chat room.
I put up a picture of us. Okay. So here's what Lenny did.
White Sox Al is here. Go ahead.
We have some people in the chat room, so I want to say. Yesterday, Lenny was talking on the phone to his friend Eric. His friend and him talk on the phone every single day. They've been talking on the phone every day since they were like 8 years old. One time.
Over 60 years.
Yes, 65 years.
65 years we talk on the phone almost every day.
So yesterday.
We missed a couple of years when we were growing up and we became.
Dads.
Not dads, but business owners, okay? But yeah, I've been talking to Eric
There's
all my
Laura.
life.
Can I finish the story?
Go ahead.
Okay. So they're talking on the phone yesterday, and I'm just sitting there watching Bonanza or whatever I do. And Lenny says to his friend Eric, do you remember that time we were talking on the phone? It was the 1960 World Series when the Yankees were playing against the Pirates, and Ralph and Mazeroski hit a home run off of Ralph Terry.
And we were on the phone during that home run.
And I just looked at him and I thought, if that is true, I can't believe it. Because Lenny does this all the time. Honestly, he asked me if I ever do that. I think to myself, like, I just don't ever have those really specific memories of when I was young. And like he knows exactly who was at bat. And we looked it up, and it was true, right?
Not only that, but I get images of Mazeroski. I get images of watching. I don't get images of the player, but I get images of myself sitting in my living room watching the game. So it's just unbelievable. It's happened to me so many times.
I just was so... I don't know. I think I'm the biggest fan of it. I think because I posted it on Twitter and Facebook and nobody paid attention to me.
I remember a lot of stuff. I remember staying home from school. My mother says, you want to stay? I came home for lunch and I said, all right, I'm going back to school now. She said, you want to stay home, watch the World Series? I said, yeah, of course. Turned out to be Don Larson's perfect game. Anyway.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about Ohtani. Don't say anything bad about this guy or the Dodgers fans will go crazy.
I'm not.
They're so mentally unstable over this guy, dude.
He had a big moment.
The Dodgers.
Yesterday. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Dodgers down by 1 run. And what does he do? He pops it up. Okay. And the Cardinals win the first game of the season. Now, Ohtani started the season 6 for 22. With just 1 extra base hit.
And that was the first day before we found out about the gambling, okay? I don't know, but I will say it again. Ohtani is going to have to get his head right because it's like it's like having PTSD. You can't control it. It's not something that you get to choose whether or not this is going to be top of mind. And Ohtani is not doing well, okay? This is not a good start of the season for Ohtani, even though if you look at his batting average, and I'm sure some Dodgers fan is out there right now going to show me his 273 batting average, and I say this. He hit that extra base hit, and he earned his 273 batting average in Korea. And that was before the drama. So right. I'm sorry, but Ohtani needs to start bucking up. Now, look at...
Boston Paul is here. SM King Turd is here. You got Mitchell Harston is here. Laura, Leonard Donaldson. Wow, we got a nice crowd.
We love everybody. We love it. Thanks for joining us.
Triple Play is here. And it's
Triple Play.
Great to see everybody.
Hey, Triple Play. I noticed the other day, I actually laughed out loud when I was looking up your email address, and it says, go, something.
Yeah.
And I started laughing. I said, Triple Play must have been in a huge hurry when he came up with this email address.
Something like that. Let's talk about the hottest player ever in the history of Major League Baseball. That's right, Mookie Betts. You know, since the RBI became official, 2 Major League Baseball players have had a 4-game span with 9 or more hits, 9 or more RBIs, 6 walks, 4 home runs, 600 batting average. One of them is Mookie Betts. Andrea, everybody in the chat room, who was the other player who
Babe Ruth.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I didn't. You asked me.
I asked everybody.
You said me specifically.
It's always everybody. Babe Ruth.
It's everybody except for me.
Who did it in 1932.
Okay, fine. Mookie Betts this season. .611 batting average, .708 on base percentage, 1.39 slugging, 2.09 OPS. He's now reached base in 17 of 24 plate appearances in the Dodgers' 5 games, 4 home runs, okay? 10 RBIs. He's hit a home run in a career-high 4 straight games. He's come to the plate 22 times so far this season, and he's gotten on base how many times, do you think?
I would say it's over 10.
15.
Okay, I'm not wrong there.
And then your boy Yamamoto, who,
yes.
okay, look.
He's not my boy. I was against spending the extra dollar on him again.
A lot of people love him, okay?
My reasoning is I'm not spending that kind of money on any pitcher who has never pitched in the major leagues. Never. So I stayed away from Yamamoto. But he's looking like a big-time $1 million pitcher early in this. He struck out the side in the first inning. He threw 12 out of his 16 pitches for strikes against St. Louis. On the night, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 68 pitches, 45 for strikes, and he also had a rain delay.
Laura, I posted some pictures of us on Facebook, right? The Mets game. I can't wait to go to another Mets game with Laura.
Okay.
All right, Yamamoto. Is he looking like the $325 million pitcher? He threw.
SM King Turd said he looked like he was 100%.
Of course, because SM King Turd is invested highly in this guy.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
So 12 of his 16 pitches were strikes against the Cardinals. He went 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, struck out 5. It only took him 68 pitches. That's not bad for 5 innings. 45 of those were strikes, and he did endure 1 rain delay. So there you go on your Yamamoto love. But let's talk about some other kid that we should love right now. His name is Oswaldo Cabrera.
Yep, 7 for 13. He's hit 2 home runs and 6 RBIs to start the season. There is no question that he will not keep up the pace.
Well,
but
yeah.
And I know it's early in the season, and some people, but now is the time to try to trade Cabrera. You know, one of the things we do
Nobody's trading this guy.
We're trading him. Put him.
Boston Paul, put him in a trade offer.
Yeah, put him in a trade offer because now is the time to try to get the most out of Oswaldo Cabrera. 4 for 5 with a double, 3 RBIs Friday night against the Astros. Home run on Saturday. But Cabrera, now every time you get a player who starts off like this, and you don't have to expect a hell of a lot, but put his name out there. And by the way, every league should have a place that people should put their trade players in. All right? This way, it's only fair. Everybody gets a shot. And
what is that page called? Isn't that they have a market for that?
Yeah,
there's a page for that.
There's something like that, but this way it avoids collusion or anything else, okay?
And then people don't have to get their feelings hurt because they didn't get any offers.
Exactly. Everybody should have a chance to get Oswaldo Cabrera, okay?
Okay, let me tell you more about this kid. Last year, I drafted him on multiple leagues. I thought the Yankees were going to give him a chance, or maybe it was in 2021, and this is what I went off when I decided to draft him. He had, in 2021, in the minors, he had 29 homers, 20 stolen bases, 90 RBIs, and 72 runs with a .272 batting average and a .330 on-base percentage. Then, last year, okay, he did not do good. He only got about 340 at-bats between minors and majors. He hit 7 home runs and stole 10 bases, and his batting average stunk. It was .211 in the .211 in the majors and .225 in the minors. So, obviously he's pulling it together. I don't know how old he is, but I would say, look, if you compare, this is why you shouldn't feel bad if you're in last place. Look at Oswaldo Cabrera's stat line versus Aaron Judge's stat line, and you'll see this ridiculous comparison.
Well,
and then you could say to yourself, all right, it's a What is it? It's not a sprint.
It's not a sprint.
It's a jog. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. It's a jog. Give me a break.
It's not a sprint. It's a jog.
Okay, I got a tough one for you. I'm going to ask you a question, a direct question.
I bet Boston Paul knows this answer.
Now, Lourdes Gurriel has homered in each of Arizona's first 3 games. Will he do it again today?
No.
Will he? Just 6 players have homered in each of their team's first 4 games in the season. Let's see. Christian Yelich did it. Trevor Story, Chris Davis, Nelson Cruz, Mark McGwire, and Willie Mays. How about that? Gurriel went 2 for 4 with a solo home run in a loss to the Rockies on Saturday.
Well, Lourdes Gurriel, if you have him, he's propping up your team right now, no doubt about it, with his 3 home runs to start off the season. He's batting .462 with a .533 on base percentage, 8 RBIs, and 3 home runs. You know, his ADP was .221, and if you listen to our shows, we have touted Lourdes Gurriel, not because he's flashy, he's not going to hit 50 bombs, but now that he has a good spot in the lineup, okay, and he hits every day, unlike he did in Toronto, he's really been able to stand out, and this is not obviously going to continue with the home run every day. But Lourdes Gurriel is a good hitter, and that comes from the heart. Right?
All right. White Sox Gal says I have a big butt. Okay, but that's pretty good. Now, let me ask you this question. And, you know, people talk, baseball talk every day. How many people really claim, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
He didn't say you have a big butt.
What did he say?
Even though you do.
Okay. Does anybody in the chat room know what OPS stands for? Don't answer it. I'm asking the chat room. You can just answer yes or no.
Do you know that I got told I shouldn't be talking about baseball if I don't know what OPS is?
What do you mean? Who told you that?
Some guy on X. It's okay. I take care of those guys. They don't even know what's coming.
Are you kidding me? Andrea has become a fiend.
So this is what happened with the OPS. I posted because this guy says that Pete Rose is not even close to the greatest hitter of all time, and it could be argued if he even cracks the top 600. So I went out and did some due diligence, and I posted that Pete Rose is the all-time MLB leader in hits, games played, at-bats, singles. He won 3 World Series, 3 batting titles, most valuable player, 2 Gold Gloves, and a Rookie of the Year award. And yes, he was one of the greatest hitters. And this guy comes back at me and shows me this list of OPS. It's got JT Real Muto ahead of Pete Rose.
Okay.
And I said, what is that list? And then the guy said, if you don't know what that list is, then you shouldn't be talking baseball. And I just gave him the middle finger and kept on talking.
It stands for on-base percentage plus slugging percentage.
Right. Okay.
It says on-base percentage and slugging percentage added together. Okay, and that presents a valuable player. The highest OPS in the team's first 5 games of the season belongs to, well, it's not Mookie Betts.
Who is it?
Barry Bonds, then you have Chris Shelton. Remember Chris Shelton, Detroit Tigers?
In 2006.
Yeah, Adrian Gonzalez, and then Mookie Betts. But OPS is very interesting.
It's okay, and it's fine. I get why people use it, but when you're talking about the greatest hitter of all times, the problem with this argument is that what seems to be the greatest hitter of all time to me might not be your qualifications for the best hitter of all times. If you feel like OPS is what makes a hitter great, which a lot of younger people do, but I had a lot of people from the 90s, the 80s, and watching Pete Rose and telling me that this guy is their favorite hitter of all time because of the longevity alone, Pete Rose might be the best hitter of all time because he played for 25 years or something.
Yeah, Pete Rose or Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn. Now we're talking about 2 different hitters here. Tony Gwynn, because Pete Rose got out way more than Tony Gwynn. And Tony Gwynn didn't hit. He wasn't so flashy all the time with his home runs and stuff.
He had stolen bases.
But he did have stolen bases, and he got so many hits. He's right there. He's probably as good as Ichiro or better, maybe.
There's a definite argument between Tony Gwynn, Pete Rose, and Ichiro. Definite.
Pete Rose had the counting stats, no doubt about it. But when you look at Pete Rose's success at the plate, then, I mean, not Pete Rose, but Tony Gwynn. When you look at Tony Gwynn's success at the plate, the guy was a solid hitter like Ichiro, or I should say Ichiro was like Tony Gwynn. And plus, he's just an icon in baseball. Tony Gwynn and Pete Rose, for crying out loud. So let's move on.
Does anybody remember when you could bring a picnic basket of food into the ballpark?
Do you?
You know what? I don't. I don't remember. I'm not saying that it didn't happen.
I don't know why you would do that. The hot dog's the best part of the game.
Come on. Are you kidding? They wouldn't let you bring in... it's unbelievable. It's amazing.
You can bring water in as long as it's not open.
It's amazing that they let you keep your clothes on. Something could be in your pockets.
Okay, Leonard.
It's unbelievable. Too much security.
All right.
Yeah.
Juan Soto's first home run helped the Yankees. The Yankees are 3-0 for the first time in 25...
21 years.
Okay, 21. I exaggerate. So.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. But it's the second time in history that they've won each of their first 3 games. And the first one was back in...
Oh, I don't know. I'll say 1980.
Hold on a second. This one says that the Yankees are 3-0 for the first time in 21 years. And then it says that the last time they won each of their first 3 games... Oh, the last time they won each of their first 3 games all in comeback fashion was in 1957.
You have to understand what you're studying, okay? Look, we don't make this crap up, okay? We take notes. We put a lot of preparation time in, but sometimes it's a little bit...
Well, you know, I got confused, and you never know.
And, and by the way, DJ LeMahieu... He opened the season on the injured list, but
that's why Oswaldo's playing.
But he's got a broken right foot, and he'll be sidelined longer than originally anticipated.
Right, so which means Cabrera Oswaldo is going to get some for sure playing time. Now back to Juan Soto. The Yankees fans are talking about giving him the key to the city already. They said they should change the name from Soho to Soto.
I'm surprised. There wasn't more in the offseason written up about Juan Soto going to the Yankees.
Oh, boy, is he a fan favorite.
It wasn't made into the big deal that I thought it would.
What about Marcus Stroman yesterday? We don't have anything, but I'd like to just bring this up out of thin air. You know, he denied and declined pitching on opening day, and poor Nestor got stuck with it, even though Marcus Stroman was offered the opening day start first, and maybe he was... Look, if he wouldn't have done so good yesterday and won that game yesterday, the Yankees fans would be demolishing him right now. But the fact that he did good, the Yankees fans they're just ecstatic with Marcus Stroman. So all the difference a day makes, right? They forgot all about the fact that he declined to pitch on opening day. Let's talk about Cleveland for a moment.
And Eddie Heckman's talking about Forbes Field in Pittsburgh.
Forbes Field permitted picnic baskets. Oh, you know what?
Did we go to Forbes Field?
No, we went to PNC.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Forbes Field is a football, isn't it?
No, it was baseball.
Oh. The Guardians are 3-0. It's the 4th time in history that they've scored 6 or more runs in each of the first 3 games to start a season, right? They did it this year in 1998, 1922, and 1923. They have extra base hits. On Thursday, they had 5 extra base hits. Friday, they had 5 extra base hits. And yesterday, they had 6 extra base hits. Last season, Cleveland had its 3rd game with at least 5 extra base hits on April 23rd.
And Eddie Heckman, we're thinking of you now. Here is the Baltimore Orioles. Go, baby, go.
Last year, the Cleveland Guardians.
Still talking about Cleveland.
All right, let's move on. The Orioles, it is time for the Orioles, okay?
Time for the Orioles, Eddie Heckman.
Beautiful ballpark, great fans. The fans are just sheer. I love to follow the Orioles fans, too.
Yes, I do,
okay?
too. Yep.
And I saw...
Tito Luna is here. Good morning,
to
Tito Luna.
Tito and Jeter.
That's right.
Good morning to you guys.
Johnson.
Tommy Johnson, happy Easter to you.
Yeah. Okay, so the Orioles... Go ahead.
No, please.
17-run differential is their best through, the first 2 games of the season in a franchise history. They had 13 in 2005.
Right, but now they have 17.
Yeah.
So now do you believe that the Orioles are going to win the most games?
I think the Orioles are going to have a terrific team.
What about Jackson Holiday, who's sitting down in the minors, hitting the home runs every time he gets... Well, not every time, but he's hit a home run in each of the first 2 minor league games.
He really has.
The first one he hit was against a lefty, which was their only excuse for leaving him down to get more practice against lefties.
Okay.
So, again, I said this yesterday, but Jim Bowden pointed out that any minor leaguer that stays down for 20 games, it does not qualify for a full season of playing time. I don't know why the Orioles can't just let the guy up to... I mean, they got Hayes and Mullins.
They
got all kinds of stars
and
anyway.
Santander and Ryan O'Hearn.
Yeah, but they could
Colton Cowser is not in the starting lineup. But the Orioles have a tough team.
What are they doing with Cowser, too? Why would they let this guy stay up and not give him every day a bat?
I have no idea, but they got... look, Grayson Rodriguez is coming back sooner than expected.
He was pitching yesterday.
And that was... who am I thinking of? Who's the Rodriguez I'm thinking of? The other guy. Anyway, Tyler Wells, Cole Irvin... It's going to be interesting. What the Orioles need is they need a solid bullpen, and Craig Kimbrell is a big deal. Yenier Cano, of course, Felix Bautista has Tommy John, but the Orioles bullpen will be the key to how far they will go this season. Go, baby.
I was going to say something, but I'm going to rephrase my...
Okay.
I'm going to rephrase what I said.
Yeah, that's
okay,
right.
to try to be nicer and kinder.
Yes,
okay?
you'll be politically correct. Go ahead. What are you laughing at?
Hold on. Okay, I'm just trying to rephrase what I'm saying in the chat room to be nice to people. Let's talk about Jared Jones, Pittsburgh starting pitcher.
Wow, did he look good yesterday?
He looked okay.
He had, He had 22 swing and misses.
Yes, the most.
Yeah, go ahead.
The most by an MLB debut. I think it was meant for you to say it. I can't spit it out.
Pitcher in his major league debut since 2008.
The pitch tracking era.
Yeah, the pitch tracking. He earned the win over the Marlins Saturday. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, struck out 10. He's an interesting... we didn't talk a lot about this guy, but he lived up to the hype. He had 22 swing and misses on 89 pitches, and that's their most swing and misses by any pitcher in their major league debut since 2008. Okay? Okay,
fine. Let's talk about another guy that I posted up yesterday on X, which is that Jared Jones has the one good thing. One of the best things about this guy is not that he obviously it's great that he can strike out a lot of batters, but his fastball touches 100, and he's got 3 other good pitches, not just adequate, but above average pitches. He's got 4 pitch arsenal. He pitched 120 plus innings each of the past 2 years, so it wouldn't be crazy to expect him to get 150 or 160 innings this year without any kind of problem. Even though he's young, he probably won't be on a big, strict pitch limit going in here. And you know what? The Pittsburgh Pirates are a better team than people are saying. And when I say that on X, I get a lot of pushback. But I'll tell you what. Somebody pointed out the other day that this is the first time in many years that they did not see any ass player in the lineup. Hitter.
Any what?
Ass.
What does that mean?
Jackass.
Oh, Okay.
I laugh at my own jokes.
All right, next week the Pirates play the Orioles, so that'll be.
So I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, and the Diamondbacks have 32 hits in 2 games. I just noticed that. Only 5 teams have had more through 2 games, but the Diamondbacks are really killing it. And how about my pick for the American League's most valuable player, and maybe fantasy baseball's most valuable player? You know who it is?
Yes, I do.
Luis Robert. Okay? Yeah. Luis Robert had only 1 home run longer last season than the home run he hit. He had 2 home runs. Luis Robert will be the MVP in the American League. You got that? Playing for the White Sox.
Yeah.
He will steal bases. He will hit home runs. Luis Robert's my pick for the number 1 fantasy player.
Okay, keep on going. I have to save.
Ketel Marte is another guy whose name is in. He has 3 hits in each of his first 2 games. Only 5 players had 3 hits in each of their first 3 games of the season. Ketel Marte doing great. And Lance Lynn, I don't know if you saw this, gave up 3 straight singles to load the bases in the start of the first inning, and then he struck out the side to escape the jam. Unbelievable.
Now, here's the thing. Will Benson, he's talking about dropping Will Benson.
Who? By the way, 631-406-7141. And I say that by saying, by the way.
The problem with Will Benson, and the only problem with Will Benson, is that he doesn't hit lefties good. He is a lefty, and they were considering him as a platoon player, but obviously on the large side of the platoon since he can't hit lefties, but he is the starting right fielder. He also plays center field and left field. He is a versatile player who absolutely crushed it when he came up last year. For the final 4 months of the season, he was one of the Reds' best hitters, .296 batting average, .389 on base percentage, 34 extra base hits, including 8 triples to go along with 19 steals and 22 attempts. The fact that he is playing every day, no matter lefty or righty right now, because of the injuries on Cincinnati, they need him to play every day, so they can't even consider platooning him. You dropping him for a guy like Oswaldo Cabrera is a bad move, completely ridiculous. But I could be wrong.
And don't forget, we talked about the Tigers just now. They won in 10 innings as Shelby Miller got the final 6 outs. But Mark Conha, Shelby Miller, Carson Kelly are the stars of the game, and all 3 were not on the roster last time.
I have some stuff to say before you move on.
All right, guys, this is the best Tiger team that we've seen in years.
All right, going back to Lance Lynn. He threw 4 scoreless innings, but he looked like he was about to be in big trouble. They hit 3 straight singles off of him, but he bounced back, and this is what it is to be a veteran. He retired the final 8 batters he faced, and he did get stopped by a rain delay and never came back because he already threw 70 pitches in 4 innings, but we're hoping this could mean that he's bouncing back, right? So there you go with Lynn. Now the Tigers, I gotta say about Mark Conha, who's another guy that I'm talking about. 35 years old is a downside, but yesterday 3 for 5, a double, a homer, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and a stolen base against the White Sox. Okay, that's not a huge shoes to fill there, beating the White Sox. But the point is, he plays every day because he is the starting left fielder, but he can also play first base and right field. He's batting 5th against righties. He's batting 6th against lefties. And if you need somebody to fill in for your injured outfield already, go ahead and pick up Mark Conha. I also went out and picked up Michael Conforto in a couple of teams.
Oh, yeah. I drafted him in a lot of leagues. So, I couldn't believe that he was a reserve round pick in some of the leagues that I looked at.
Conha second, Conforto first. He looks like he's just crushing it in his new home. 2 home runs already for Conforto in a good lineup, so let's go.
Those of you who have Royce Lewis, he's on the 10-day injury list. You know that with a right quad strain. It was a severe right quad strain. That's one thing that we didn't know until now. he will require at least 1 month of rest just to recover. And then they'll reassess that situation. But as Andy said, Willie Castro is going to serve as Minnesota's primary third baseman.
You know what chaps my hide?
What?
Chaps my hide.
What does that mean?
It means irks me.
What?
IRK, irk.
Yeah, good. Chaps my hide? I never heard that one before. But
That's because you're not from Oklahoma.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. The thing that chaps my hide is that the Twins totally gave up on Jose Miranda without giving him an ample opportunity to play. Even after he did good in 2022, he did good, and then he didn't have any kind of leash. Okay, and he was sent down in the minors, and he still doesn't have a job, even though he did great this spring training. The guy can play first base, second base, and third base, and I don't know what the underlying problem is here with Jose Miranda, because you can't really find it in his statistics. He's done okay at the major league level, even though they didn't let him do much of it last year. Yeah. And now you have injuries like this with Royce Lewis, and Miranda would be fine. He must have horrible defense. It's the only thing I could think of. But you usually don't have horrible defense when you could play first, second, and third base. Hey, or maybe they just kept pushing you around because you stunk.
I don't know, but you know what impresses me? Here it is, Easter Sunday morning, and the chat room is loaded.
Yes, we love it.
Thank you all very much, and happy Easter to everybody, okay? The Red Sox pitching staff has struck out, 30 batters and allowed only 6 runs. Where's King Happ when you need him?
Right.
Over his first 3 games. They've never started a season striking out that many while limiting runs at this extent, okay?
Yeah, the Red Sox pitching staff leading with the boy Brian Bello. Yeah. Brian Bello. Boy, the Red Sox pitching, keeping them above water. How long do you think that's going to last? What's the prop bet on that?
I don't think it's...
Today they're going to have...
I thought their pitching staff was better. Merrill is here. Good morning,
Whitlock,
Merrill.
I think, is today.
Yeah, Whitlock is today. But here's a player that is really the most confusing player of all.
He's not confusing.
Jared Kalenic, 3 for 3 yesterday. When the Mets had him and traded him, I said, oh, no. Then he became among the worst players in baseball. All right, I know it was the spring, but I'll tell you what, he had a terrible spring training, and now he's he's just not doing it. Okay?
When Kalenic went to the Braves, I thought, whoopee, this is a new start for him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna. He's got you couldn't even ask to be in a better lineup than what he's in now in Atlanta. And then I drafted him on a couple teams, and then they hired Adam Duvall. And I'll tell you one thing that is a certainty, that we know, some things you just know early. And one of those things is that Adam Duvall will be the batter against left-handed pitchers, while Kalenic gets to hit against righties. And Kalenic did not have a good spring at all. So there was a lot of people dogging on Kalenic, and all the Braves fans say, you got to give him a chance, you got to give him a chance. And I say, do you remember when he broke his toe because he kicked the water cooler because he has zero presence around him, emotional stability?
Yes,
maybe he needs to mature a little bit. And I absolutely gave him a chance. He's got a triple. In spring, he had a triple, a homer, and 5 hits in his final 14 at-bats, so that was a good sign going into the regular season. But, he's only 24 still. But the one thing I can tell you, he may not even live up to his ADP, which wasn't very high, because Duvall is the man against lefties, no doubt about it. And if he starts struggling against righties, Duvall will come in and hit against righties.
In a show of our scheduling, about 45 minutes or so, very difficult to go over everything, so we don't really say a lot about daily fantasy. But if you like, 631-406. That's why we give the phone number.
And then when you call Lenny, he won't say anything about daily
fantasy. And then I won't say anything. Max Fried lasted only 7 batters. So if you're a Max Fried fan, as I am, do you make an offer to the owner who's got Max Fried now?
There's a young lady on X named Cassmac. Cassmac is her Twitter handle. She's Cassidy McMahon.
Okay.
She's got cerebral palsy, but she does every single Braves game, and she's so good to watch because she is the biggest Braves fan there is, no doubt about it. And yesterday when she was given her overview of what happened in the game, she talked about Max Fried, and she really thanked the bullpen for saving his ass. And then she dug at Aaron Nola, saying stuff like, at least he didn't get hit around like Aaron Nola did.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of Phillies haters because Phillies are haters.
Yeah.
Phillies fans are haters, and there's a lot of American or National League East people that hate the Phillies. And we've seen a lot of that stuff come out with the Rhys Hoskins thing and now Aaron Nola getting hit around. And these people take no time to get on X and start talking about how bad, the Phillies fans were booing their own team already.
Oh, they've done that.
Yankees fans aren't even ready to boo their team yet.
No. Yesterday, looking through the box scores, C.J. Abrams had 3 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And strikeouts were unbelievable. Jared Jones, 22. Yeah. Hunter Green, 17. Logan Gilbert, 16.
These are swinging strikes.
Oh, yeah?
Those are not swinging strikeouts.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. They're
swinging
whiffs.
Strikes.
3 strikes. A lot of them. Marcus Stroman, 13. Tanner Beebe, 12. Seth Lugo, 12. Dylan Cease, 12. So it was really...
Whiffs is what we're talking about.
You know what? A whiff.
Do you know what a whiff is?
Yeah, it's sitting next to you. Sitting next to you, I got a whiff, all right? Well, listen...
You're so full of it, Leonard.
I'm full of it.
You're
anyway,
the one that whiffs.
That's the story, everybody. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming to the chat room. Big Al on the Prowl, Eddie Heckman, James Caplion, Leonard Donaldson, Laura, Merrill Mitchell, Holy Cow, Roto Lady, Rotorius, SM King Turd, Timothy My Hooker, Tito Luna, White Sox Al, Boston Paul. Can I keep going? SM King Turd. And ladies and gentlemen...
And 2 guest Bretts.
There's nobody better...
Guest Terrence.
...than our chat room.
We love it. Tito Luna, happy Easter to you and Jeter and family.
Okay.
And to everybody who celebrates, happy Easter.
Don't forget, we're here, 631-406-7141. It's in the chat room if you want to scroll up and get it. If not, thank you, everybody. We will see you tomorrow morning.
Boston Paul got Benson back. Good job, dude. I think Boston Paul just gets so antsy that he has to go pick up players because this league that he's in with King Hap, okay, it's a big money league.
Yeah.
And it's their home league that they do, and Boston Paul is now in this league. Well, when Boston Paul entered their fantasy football league, they had a waiver wire at a certain time when you could be there to pick up players, and Boston Paul was there every single time, right on the clock. They had to change the rule because of Boston Paul, okay? Now, the league that he's in with baseball is free for all. Means that you and anybody can just go in right now, pick up a player and drop a player anytime they want, which I think is very convenient.
Yeah.
But, they're going to change the rules for him again, I bet.
Okay. You going to change any rules for me?
Any rule that you need me to.
Okay. See you tomorrow, everybody, 9 a.m. Thank you so much, and a very happy Easter Sunday to you all.